Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm bringing you a gentle story about a little bird and a young boy, along with a soft life lesson to help make our lives a little better. If you enjoy it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so I have more motivation to create more meaningful stories for you. Now, let's begin today's story. I hope you enjoy listening. Rafi was a young boy living in a peaceful village nestled between lush green forests. Everyone in the village loved him because he was gentle, helpful, and kind to all living creatures. Yet buried beneath those good qualities was a weakness that often made life harder for him. Rafi was very impatient. He wanted everything to happen quickly, easily, and smoothly. Whenever he worked on something, if the results didn't show right away, he would become discouraged and assume he had failed. He wanted to see success instantly, wanted his dreams to come true after just a few steps. Even small things like waiting for water to boil or watching a seed sprout made him restless. To Rafi, waiting felt like losing precious time. That impatience caused him to abandon many things that could have turned out beautifully. And eventually, it led him to a life-changing lesson when he met a tiny bird in the forest. A lesson that would transform him forever. One cool morning after a night of rain, when droplets still clung to the leaves and the ground remained soft, Rafi went into the forest to gather firewood for his mother. The peaceful air was filled with birdsong echoing from the tall treetops, and the breeze carried the fresh scent of damp earth. Rafi walked gently through the woods, unaware that this trip would change his life. As he walked deeper into the forest, he heard a strange sound, not the wind, nor the cheerful chirping of birds. It was a weak, trembling sound, like a tiny cry for help, too fragile to be loud. Rafi stopped, tilted his head to listen, then slowly followed the faint sobbing. Under a low bush, he found a small yellow bird curled up on the wet grass. Its wing was twisted, trembling from pain and fear. Its tiny chest rose and fell rapidly as if struggling to cling to life. The sight made Rafi's heart soften. He knelt down and slowly extended his hand so he wouldn't frighten it. The bird looked at him with eyes full of desperation, as if begging for protection. Without hesitation, Rafi gently lifted it. What surprised him was how light it felt, so light he thought he was holding a ray of sunlight. Rafi cradled it close to his chest, sensing the fragility of the little creature. Not long after, he decided to take the bird home to care for and protect it. From that moment, he knew he had taken on a new responsibility, one small, yet sacred. After bringing the bird home, Rafi placed it inside a small wooden box he had quickly lined with cotton and soft cloth. He set the box near the window where the morning sunlight could shine in, offering warmth and safety. Rafi cared for the bird with all the gentleness he had, giving it water, crushing soft bits of bread, and watching its every movement as if afraid to miss a single change. Days passed, and the bird slowly began to improve. Its fear eased, and its tiny round eyes grew brighter, filled with new life. Whenever Rafi approached, it no longer trembled. That gave Rafi hope. He believed that with just a little more effort, the bird would soon be able to fly again. But then his impatience began to rise once more. Even though the bird was still weak and its wing couldn't move properly yet, Rafi started to feel restless. He looked at it each day and wondered why it still couldn't fly. Why is it taking so long? I'm taking care of it. Why isn't it getting better faster? He thought. Rafi didn't understand that healing takes time. He believed his effort should bring immediate results. Each time he saw the bird only hop lightly inside the box, impatience, and even a hint of disappointment, grew inside him. His desire to see the bird fly again became an invisible pressure, making him forget that life has its own pace, and that impatience would soon lead him to a painful lesson. One morning, as he watched the bird weakly flutter its fragile wing, Rafi's impatience became stronger than ever. He felt that if he kept waiting, the bird might never fly again. The idea of encouraging it to try flying early began forming in his mind. And though he knew Sunno was still weak, he believed that with just a little push, things would move faster. So the next morning, Rafi took the bird back into the forest, the place where he had found it. He hoped that the familiar surroundings, Fresh air and open space would awaken the bird's instincts. His heart pounded, part nervous, part hopeful. He placed Sunno on a low branch and gently stroked its back to encourage it. But the bird trembled, its eyes full of fear. It shook its head as if saying it wasn't ready. Rafi didn't understand. In his impatient mind, this challenge was necessary, and that very thought led to a mistake he never anticipated. The moment the bird fell to the ground like a leaf struck down by the wind, Rafi felt his heart stop. He rushed over, knelt down, and lifted the bird with trembling hands. Sunno lay still for a while, its eyes shut from pain and shock. Rafi felt its weak breaths flutter against his palms, and a cold fear spread through him. A wave of guilt and fear crashed over him. Rafi understood that his impatience had caused greater harm. The bird hadn't failed, he had forced it before it was ready. His eyes stung with tears. He bowed his head and whispered, voice shaking, "Sunno, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. I was wrong." Holding the bird close, Rafi felt its fragility more clearly than ever. Hot tears fell onto his hands, soaking into the bird's soft yellow feathers. That entire day, Rafi didn't smile or play as he usually did. He sat beside Sunno's box, quietly watching each tiny breath, the weight of regret heavy on his heart. He realized that love without understanding and patience could cause deeper wounds than anything else. That night, under the silver glow of moonlight spilling through the window, Rafi's mother quietly entered the room. She saw him sitting beside the small box, his face full of worry and remorse. Without speaking at first, she gently placed her hand on his shoulder and sat down. "Rafi," she said softly, "healing is a journey, not something you can rush." The boy looked up, eyes shimmering with longing for an answer. She continued, "Sometimes, because we want good things so badly, we accidentally hurt the very things we're trying to protect." Rafi stayed silent, his mother's words reaching the deepest part of him. She looked at him kindly and said, "Not everything that moves slowly is meaningless. Some things simply need time. And sometimes, you must trust that God has a better plan for you, even if you can't see it yet." Those gentle yet powerful words opened a new understanding within Rafi. Patience was also a form of love. From that night on, Rafi felt as if he had been awakened from his long-held impatience. He realized that love must be paired with patience and trust, or it could become a burden. So Rafi chose to change, not with speeches, but through small daily actions, through true gentleness from the heart. The next morning, instead of urging Sunno to fly, he cared for it with calmness. He ground the food smaller, placed water closer, and checked its wings each day, not to see when it would fly, but to ensure it was healing properly. He set the box in the perfect spot for the morning sun to warm it gently. When he had free time, Rafi sat beside the bird, telling it stories about the forest and his dreams. But now his voice carried peace instead of impatience. Each night before sleeping, he checked if Sunno was comfortable and warm. Day by day, Rafi's change created a quiet miracle. The bird grew stronger and began to trust him deeply. Its eyes brightened when Rafi approached. Its once weak heartbeat grew steadier, and its wing movements became smoother. And most importantly, Rafi himself grew, learning to love with patience, with time, and with a heart that knows how to wait. One bright morning, as golden sunlight spread through the window, Rafi opened the wooden box as usual. But what he saw made his heart leap with joy. Sunno was no longer lying still or barely moving. The little bird stood on its slender legs, eyes sparkling with energy. When Rafi approached, it hopped onto the edge of the box, spreading its wings gracefully, as if welcoming a new dawn. Rafi held the box close with familiar tenderness, but this time his heart was filled with happiness rather than worry. He carried Sunno to the garden where sunlight covered the ground like a warm golden carpet. Without rushing, without pushing, Rafi gently opened his hand. Sunno looked at him for a moment, as if thanking him, then calmly flapped its wings and soared into the open sky. This time, it wasn't a weak attempt or a frightened flutter. It was a strong, beautiful arc, a testament to the power of time, care, and patience Rafi had learned. As Sunno rose higher, Rafi stood silently watching, feeling as though his own heart was lifting with those tiny wings. The morning sky stretched wide and bright, reflecting the change inside him. When the bird became a small golden dot against the sky, Rafi felt something deeper than joy. He felt understanding. He realized that Sunno couldn't have healed sooner, nor could it have been forced. The bird hadn't flown earlier, not because Rafi hadn't cared enough, but because it wasn't the right time. And Rafi himself hadn't understood earlier because he wasn't ready for the lesson life wanted to teach. Now, watching Sunno's free journey, Rafi understood that everything in life has its own timing. Some things we want quickly, but rushing only steals their fullness. Some doors that seem closed are simply waiting for the perfect moment to open beautifully. And delays that feel meaningless are often God's protection, the gift of time. Rafi took a long breath. The forest breeze carried the scent of leaves and a strange peaceful calm. He knew he had grown, learning to be patient, to trust, and to wait. From now on, whenever faced with delay or challenge, he would remember that every waiting has a purpose. And that lesson, learned from a tiny bird, would stay with him forever. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my story. I wish you joy, good health, and success. I'll see you again in the next stories.